Hey there, my name is Megan from Foreshadow Intuitive Tarot. I am a intuitive tarot reader and certified transformational tarot coach, and I am also a published author, and I am here to help you make your writing dreams come true. And today we are going to look at that exact question. How can you make your writing dreams come true? Now keep in mind, this is a general reading, so everything that comes out today may not fully resonate with you. Just take what resonates and leave the rest for who it's meant for. Let's see, how can you make your writing dreams come true? How can anyone watching this make their writing dreams come true? Okay, that was a lot that flipped over, so we'll take the top card. It's kind of my rule. If we get a lot that flip over, I'll always take the top one. Like what just happened there. Again, we'll take the top card and let's see if we can get at least one more. What else can you tell us about making our writing dreams come true? There we go. We'll take the top card for that too. Okay, here first up we have the Page of Pentacles, followed by the Hanged Man reversed, followed by the Six of Swords, followed by the Five of Swords. Okay. So first of all, I think it's interesting, the coloring of this is we have a lot of green, like a lot of green coming up. So to me, that is the color of the heart chakra. So there is like one of the path to your writing dreams, like part of how you can make your writing dreams come true, you have to be really heart-centered. And so this means creating from the heart. Yes, like that's a big piece of this, is making sure you are always creating from the heart, that you are always feeling good about what you're putting out there. That you feel like something is as good as you can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like at some point we have to hand things off for various reasons. We need to get feedback, but you should feel like you have gotten this project as far as you can, that you feel as good as you possibly can with where it's at any given stage, that you have put your heart into it. It is becoming closer to your dream, to what you want it to be. But the other piece of this though is that you need to be making sure you are building your life, like you're writing life from a heart-centered place, which the Five of Swords, I think is interesting. We'll talk about that when we get to the end here. But it's about like not letting your dreams come at your own expense, because that's really not the dream, right? Like that's a big belief of mine, having been through the publishing process. It doesn't matter if it's that whole idea of like, it doesn't matter if your dream comes true if it feels shitty, right? So, there's just a need for you to really be heart-centered, for you to be really grounded in your heart, to be grounded in what's true for you. And know that if you're operating from that place, you can make anything happen. You can make every dream come true. And it's going to feel good. Like that's another piece of this, is just not to lose sight of the fact that having your writing dream come true should feel good. And if it doesn't, if you have to sacrifice too much of yourself to make it happen, then it's probably not the dream that you were really chasing. Like that's an ego-centered dream. It's not a heart-centered dream. And with all of the green we've got here, really making sure your dream is heart-centered and you're moving in that direction seems essential. Now, let's start breaking things down card by card. With this Page of Pentacles coming up, a couple of things I think are really interesting about this card. So in general, the Page of Pentacles for me means making money, and it does mean like from a sense of ease. So things coming to you really easily, things really coming fluidly. So it's kind of prioritizing and also having faith that one I'm getting is having faith that this is possible. Two is prioritizing operating from this place. I also think it's interesting that she is in a balancing pose, like in yoga. This is tree pose. It's a balancing pose. So making sure you are operating from a balanced perspective. Again, that it's not like you've got pedal to the metal all the time, that you do come up for air. I also think it's interesting that her knee is pointed to the right, which to me is forward motion. So it's like moving things forward, but from a really balanced place, making sure you're taking care of yourself, making sure that you are prioritizing you as a person as much as you are prioritizing your goals and your project. With the Hanged Man reverse, to me, the message I was getting right when this card came out was that you can't let yourself stay stuck. sometimes we all need to take a break. Sometimes we need to take a pause. And with the Hangman specifically, when the Hangman's upright, it means seeing things from a new perspective, right? If you look at this character, she is seeing the world from a new perspective upside down like this. With this card being in the reversed, the message I'm getting is it's important not to get stuck there. So if you're at a point where you took a break and you did see something from a new perspective, or maybe you just took a break and you haven't taken the time to reevaluate, I feel like this card coming up, you're being called back to your project. And you're being called back to your goals, perhaps even. Like maybe there is a need to reevaluate, make sure you're really moving in a direction that's aligned with you, that feels good for you. But for most of you, I'm just kind of getting a need to kind of get back to it. So if there is something that you've taken a break on, even if you feel like you've been working on your project, if there's something that you've stepped back from, it's time to revisit that. It's time to kind of look at it again and to see where it can lead you. I'm really being drawn to this light in the back, which I kind of think is the sun. Like this is giving me like setting sun energy. And it's like, I'm almost like, the message I'm getting is like, make sure that you are moving towards your sun, that you are make sure that you are moving towards things that light you up. And for some of you, like even if you didn't step back from your project as a whole, like if there is a scene that you've walked away from to let sit for a little bit, this is a call to revisit it. Like just don't get too far away from it. Don't get too far away from whatever this thing is that you've taken a break from, because there's just a need to look at it again. And there's something about that that's coming through as important. I'm going to trust that you know what that means. Now with the Six of Swords, this really speaks to you getting outside your comfort zone. This is leaving behind what you knew and what you thought to be true so that you can grow. One thing I think is interesting is that this character is by herself. Typically in the traditional depictions of the cards, this character is actually being in a boat that is being driven by somebody or paddled by somebody. So she is not alone. But in this case, this character is alone. And I think there is something to that. The author journey can be a little bit lonely. Like at the end of the day, it's your name on the cover. I mean, unless you have a co-writer, like it's you. And yes, there's lots of other people involved who help and support you, and even author friends who have the same experience, but your journey is unique. And I think there's an aspect of this that you need to know that's about just getting outside your comfort zone, being comfortable with it being you, being comfortable being the authority, being comfortable being seen in that way. I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of stretch that's kind of required here. But also no, because I think it's interesting, she's looking down. And to me, what that means, it's reminding me of the Hermit card, which the Hermit is also looking down. And the message behind that, and I believe it's a message here for you too, is that you only need to take the next step. So you don't need to get ahead of yourself. You don't need to see it as this big thing. Like, don't put your dreams on this super big pedestal. Focus on taking the next step, especially when you get to this point where you're really stretching yourself and you're getting inside your comfort zone. You don't have to look at the whole big picture of whatever that step is, whatever that stretch is. Just take the one step. Now here, with this Five of Swords reversed, this is what's giving me the strong impression of like, make sure you are not sacrificing yourself for your dreams and goals. Make sure you are not the cost of what you want. When the Five of Swords comes up upright for me, it's the card that says you can have what you want, but at what cost? So it's kind of a card where like somebody might, cut corners to get what they want, or maybe act against their values, maybe hurt somebody in the process. But when this card comes up in the reverse for me, it's kind of making sure, it's asking you to make sure you're not hurting yourself. It's making sure any corners you cut don't come back to hurt you. Because I think sometimes we can think as ourselves as being more expendable. Like, from what I've seen from people is we're more likely to say, I wouldn't ask someone to do that, but I'll do it myself. Like, I wouldn't ask someone to stretch their time and energy in that way, but I'll stretch my own. And this Five of Swords is here to say that you need to just be mindful of your time, energy, your goals, your resources, like the bigger picture of your life, and making sure you are not sacrificing your health and well-being in the process is really vital. And again, I do say that like this is resonating with me based on my history as someone who has been there, because I definitely did sacrifice a lot of myself for my writing goals, and I've had to reevaluate them as a result. So I do think this is kind of coming up as a message to, if you are in a position to do that from the start, or even if you are in a position of needing to reevaluate, then do it now. It's never too late. But make sure that you understand how much of a priority you are in this process. All right, let's add some oracle cards on here. Ooh. We've got soul on fire. So yeah, make sure that your soul is lit up by what you're doing. If you ever get to a point, and whether it's now or in the future, if you ever get to a point where it feels like you're just showing up out of habit, and of course, sometimes if we want writing to be like our job, we do kind of have to show up out of habit. But overall, if you are truly not lit on fire by your project, if you are not lit on fire by where you're headed, it's time to take a time out, because this is how you should be feeling. This is how you should be building a life that feels like this. Like you are so lit up. You love what you're creating. Again, not every single day. Nobody shows up as a writer every single day and is excited about everything. But on the whole, you should feel like your soul is happy with what you're doing. And the direction that you're headed in. And I think that's also important too, is to make sure that you're happy with the direction that you're headed in. And if you're not, again, it's just a message to pause and reevaluate, to get new clarity on where you're headed. But this soul on fire, I think, is really important as like a guiding light. All right, what else do we have for you? What else can you tell us about? Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. What else can you tell us about path to our creative dreams? Trust. All right, so there is an element of trust. You have to trust that this will happen for you. Like you have to trust that everything will come together how you need to. You have to trust that you can handle making the choices that need to be made, moving in the direction that needs to be moved in, and that you can trust what's coming next for you. You can trust this stretch. You can trust your ability to stand on your own. You can trust yourself. And also, I think building a team around trust. You know, if you are somebody who's pursuing traditional publishing, making sure you have an agent you trust, that you trust your editor, etc. If you are pursuing independent publishing, that you, again, same thing, that you have editors, you have people that you trust, that you are working with. Just really making sure that you are rooted in trust and your team is rooted in trust. All right, last messages here today. Oh, that one flipped over. Okay, feather messages. We've got the Oracle. A new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. So yeah, I think this is also asking you if a new creative opportunity or idea finds you shortly after this video. I'm gonna say see that as a sign to lean into that. It doesn't mean you have to abandon completely what you're working on, but like take that inspiration seriously, write it down, maybe do some brainstorming. If you do feel called to dive all the way in, by all means do that, but be really open to new ideas that find you right around the time that you're watching this. But also just to widen the lens, know that if this is something you want, it's very possible for you. It is very accessible for you. Your creative dreams can come true. The fact that this is such a creative reading and we had this come out, your writing dreams can absolutely come true. And they're on the horizon, is what I'm seeing. So on that note, I am going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, please tell me how in the comments. And if you like this reading, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I would love to see you in future videos. And if you would like writing support for your writing journey, I do have tarot readings that can help you support your story and your creative life growth. I also offer coaching sessions, which are so powerful and transformational. You can have an individual session, or you can explore my signature program, which is Unlocking Your Author Authority. And it is built around my experience. I did not have a great publishing experience. I did not feel like I was in my author authority when my books were picked up by a traditional publisher like 10 years ago. But I am in it now, and I've had to do a lot of healing and work around that. But now I know what it takes. And if you would like to get a leg up, if you would like to step into your author authority, that option is available to you. I would love to work with you. All of that is linked in the description box below. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.